You're listening to the Magnetic Boss Podcast. I'm your host, Calandra Martin, intuitive brand designer for spiritual entrepreneurs. The Magnetic Boss Podcast is where visionaries come together to openly share wisdom and authentic conversations. I know that you are ready to leave your legacy in the world and become sought out in your industry. I also know that you are sick and tired of getting overlooked. You're ready to have a magnetic business. I'm here to help you create your magnetic brand. It's my mission to help you show up confidently with a professional, irresistible online presence. If you're in this for the long game and all in on the big vision you have for your business, let's dive in. I was recently on our third annual review call, planning call for the year ahead with two of my business besties, and had such a huge realization when it came to the evolution of my brand and what I was feeling moving into 2023. And I want to share this with you because not only is it a good opportunity to give you permission to evaluate this for yourself, but it's also a teaching moment because this has so much to do with your brand and allowing yourself to show up really authentically through your business by creating and cultivating your brand and allowing that to evolve with you. So today I want to talk about vulnerability and share with you what I experienced in 2022 as far as having a vulnerability hangover goes. So on this yearly planning call, we were talking about our content strategy, and I was sharing that I have so much content saved in our content bank, and it's all organized, it's categorized. It's really a rinse and repeat method. It's amazing. I'm so grateful to my team for creating this and helping me execute, sharing the content. And so I was talking about how the content really is under wraps for 2023. We have it figured out. Again, rinse and repeat system. However, I was getting this intuitive nudge that there is something missing. There has been something missing in my marketing, in my content. And for the longest time, I couldn't put my finger on it. But I figured it out. I have been experiencing all of 2022 a massive vulnerability hangover. And the reason for this and some of the things leading up to this you may be familiar with, maybe not if you haven't been following along with my personal story. In 2021, we had plans on moving cross country to live in an RV. We had all of these crazy plans for our family. And then I had gotten pregnant. And unfortunately, we lost that pregnancy. And it kind of just turned our world upside down. Now, through all of that, I shared really openly with the public, with however many people there are in the world, what was happening in our family. And I had shared updates about the miscarriage and really allowed myself to process that externally so that I could heal internally. And that was all great. I was really aligned with sharing that, and I still am to this day. However, looking back on it and observing the patterns that I created in sharing my brand in 2022, I recognized that following that experience and sharing that so openly, I really had a sense of retracting in this past year. I really was cocooning myself in a way. And as you can hear in the background, following that miscarriage, I got pregnant again with our beautiful baby girl who is taking a nap right now. And I was sharing updates about my pregnancy. I shared updates more recently about her being born and that experience and the newborn phases and all of those things. But it had a different energy to it. And I had made some shifts on my social media accounts to kind of pull myself back in, to rein things in a little bit and protect my privacy. And I couldn't really figure out why I was feeling that nudge to do those things, why I changed my Instagram account to a personal for about a month or so. But now recognizing that I was in this vulnerability hangover, it totally makes sense. And so what I want to share with you in this experience is that there are seasons, and there are times and places for being vulnerable, and then there are times and places for holding your process and your evolution sacred to you, processing that, and then allowing yourself to open back up when and if it feels good to you. So for my business, for my brand moving into 2023, I am feeling called again to be more open, to be more vulnerable, to share with you what the evolution looks like on a personal perspective, on a soul level, more so than I did in 2022. In 2022, there was a lot of, I don't want to say fluff content, but content that was not very personal. I was sharing more tips and tricks and resources and things like that. And those things are all great, but I teach this to almost every person that I work with, that your social media strategy needs to include some level of personalization. And so in 2023, there is going to be a lot more of that. You'll hear that more on this podcast, some of these solo episodes where I'm sharing with you what my process looks like, what changes I'm experiencing, how the business is evolving, all of those pieces. And so if you are somebody who is cultivating a personal brand, if you are sharing your life with the world at whatever capacity that looks like, I just want you to kind of pulse check and think about, as we are moving into this new season, this new year ahead of us, what is it that you feel really good about sharing, and maybe what do you want to keep more private, or what do you want to dial back on? So allow yourself to get curious here. There is no right or wrong answer. Some people are more private than others. But just remember that at the end of the day, your audience is going to be following along with your journey, because it is yours, because it is unique, and that's really what is going to set you apart in your industry. It's really what's going to help you cultivate that community. I can't tell you the number of people that I would not have connected with if I hadn't been so open and had shared so many things in the very beginning stages of my motherhood journey when my son was born, simultaneously with my business back in 2017. So I'm really grateful for that, and it's really a powerful experience to be able to go through these phases and reflect and navigate what's next, what's coming. How does that affect my business? How can I share that with you and teach you from a branding perspective how to also position yourself in your market and allow your brand to really be magnetic and powerful? So I hope this episode serves you well. If it does, if it resonates, please share this podcast with a friend or post it on social media. I would appreciate that so much. Leave a rating and review on iTunes. Those are all amazing things you can do to support the podcast. And until next time, I am sending you so much love. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe wherever you are listening so you never miss a beat. For episode show notes, visit calandramartin.com/podcast. Your iTunes reviews and your sharing of the show helps us reach more magnetic bosses just like you. Until next time.